That really could
Senator Frank Blas Jr. and Congresswoman Madeleine Bordallo today exchanged letters of concern over developments in Washington this past week regarding funding for the Guam military buildup. In his letter to Bordallo, Blas writes that the decision earlier this week by the Senate Armed Services Committee not to authorize more funding for the Guam buildup until DoD delivers a master plan that spells out the costs was a devastating yet not surprising blow to the island.
It's going to have a monumental effect. You already see this. I mean, right now you've got a number of, we've been training people, we've been getting ready, we've been having the discussions, what of now, the plans.
Senator Blas anticipates significant differences between the House and Senate versions of the Defense Authorization Act for 2012, which will eventually have to be settled by a joint House-Senate conference committee. That's where the showdown will take place, and because of its vital importance to Guam, Blas called on Bordallo to demand a seat at the table when that joint conference committee is called later this year.
When you're talking about the military buildup and you're talking about whether or not you're going to have it or not, you're talking about the lives of the people of Guam. You're talking about the future of the people. And so I think it's incumbent upon our delegate to demand to be able to sit there, to be able to be a part of that conversation, so that we're a part of that discussion and the decision-making process about our future.
In her response to Blas, Bordallo writes that she agrees that the recent statements made by U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill are concerning, and as the ranking member of the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Readiness, she expects that the leadership will appoint her to that conference committee if they meet later this year. But it won't be easy for Bordallo because, as Senator Blas points out, there is a fierce fight underway inside the Beltway right now, and he suggests that Senator McCaskill's pronouncement this past week to freeze Guam buildup funds is just the opening shot in a scramble for the shrinking pie of federal funding.
So you've got this pot of money that exists, that is supposed to go to a jurisdiction that has no representation, has no horse in the race, has no way to be able to negotiate it, to bargain, if you will, politically bargain, to be able to save itself. So, and then you've got senators and Congress and members of Congress who've got to be able to save their political hides, and being able to save some of their programs that are in their jurisdictions that are subject to these budget cuts. So what's the best place to do this? You save those programs by taking from that pot of money, because you see that pot of money, it goes to a jurisdiction that has no representation.
Still, in her response to Blas, Congresswoman Bordallo reiterates statements she made to PNC's Washington correspondent Matt Kay yesterday, saying, "It is important to note that the details of the Senate's version of the National Defense Authorization Act have not been publicly released yet, and it is not yet clear how these provisions may affect the military buildup on Guam." Kevin Kerrigan, PNC News.